Hey guys, welcome back to another video at Jensen's Reptiles. Today I'm going to be doing a Boa Constrictor Care video, as it's been a bit of a popular request lately. This is Zeke over here. He is 5 years old, roughly, and he's about 6.5 foot. So, Zeke is in a 4x4x2 Viv Exotic arboreal enclosure. This is not what I want to keep him in permanently, so I'm kind of going to tell you what I'm aiming for the future for him. And hopefully that will happen by this summer with any luck. So yeah, I would like to put Zeke into a minimum 6 foot long tank, 3 foot high, and 2.5 foot to 3 foot deep, seeing as he is growing like a weed, and I want to make sure he's got lots of space. So I'm just going to get in with him so we can show you around what he's got currently. So he's currently sitting on top of his cold hide, which is just a collection of vine wood and bark and cork panels and things like that, and it's all bulked out with some silk plants to keep it nice and dark. You can see it's pretty dark down there. So he's got his hot hide over here, which is an Exoterra resin hide. It holds the heat nicely, and he usually goes in there when he's shedding, and that's about it. Otherwise he'll sit on top of there, or he sits up there, or he's in his cold hide. This entire enclosure is heated with a White Python 150 watt ceramic on a pulse proportional thermostat, and it's lit with White Python LED lighting currently. I'm most likely going to try put in a UV basking spot for Zeke, because they really do benefit from it. Other than that, he's got his water bowl. The substrate is eco earth topped with orchid bark. He's got some bark panels in here with moss. They hold the humidity nicely, and he's got some sphagnum moss inside his hot hide there. So when he's shedding, I spray that down, make sure it's nice and humid for him, and he sheds with no issues. So, as I said, I'm planning on moving him into a larger enclosure this year. That will most likely be heated with an AHS to create a better heat gradient for him, so ceramic like this won't have to work its ass off just to maintain temperature. I'm tempted to put an AHS in here as well, because this tank will eventually belong to my carpet python Mopani, and I'd like her to have a good ambient temperature, and then give her a UV basking spot instead of a ceramic. So that's pretty much it as far as his enclosure goes. As I said, I'm really wanting to upgrade him. He's grown faster than I could have imagined, and I took him on as a rescue, got the same old spin that he was a dwarf boa, and whilst he is on the smaller side, he's still a common boa constrictor and will get a little bit larger still. But yeah, he feeds on extra large rats every 3 weeks, which he absolutely annihilates. If you've seen any of the feeding videos, he's got a wonderful feeding response. He comes out whenever he wants to, so kind of how he's behaving now, this is a typical let me out, and as soon as I've put the camera down, he'll come out and sit with me for a few hours. He's an incredibly social snake, wonderful guy, considering the attitude that he came with, which was strike first, think later, and the reason I have him is because he was biting his owner on a daily basis. The enclosure he was kept in was minuscule and, you know, not up to stand, and I honestly think that's why he was so miserable. But now he's a good lad, so happy to have him. I was planning on putting a large log up here, coming out of the wall and coming out into the middle here to use his height a bit better, but I just haven't found anything yet. And I don't want to start bolting things into a vivarium that I plan on keeping for a long time until I've found the right thing. So until then, I'm his human climbing frame, and that will just have to do for a little bit longer until we find the right thing. But yeah, he's a brilliant animal. As I was saying, I've got LED lighting in here currently, and the strip at the back that's off at the moment is a a night light. It's not on all the time, it's just for viewing to make sure he's okay at night, or if I have to feed in the dark, because he's fast and I don't want to get bitten. So, right, down here, just move that so you can see. His floor temperature is 26 degrees and the humidity is sitting at 49%. The humidity's dropped a bit because I've got the door open. I usually keep it around 60 in here and pump it up to 70 when he's shedding. Temperature, I'm actually happy with 26 degrees during the winter. He does have a cooler temperature for winter time, and in the summer that will go back up again. But for now, he spends most of his time over on the cold side, and that's because the air pressure is different and that's where he wants to be. So I let him decide. If he's going to be sitting over in his hot side all the time, I will put the temperatures up for him, and then we know that we're clicking back over to spring and summer. But yeah, so that's Zeke, and that's how I keep him currently. So it seems that he's very content. His attitude, as I said, has changed drastically from incredibly defensive to just this wonderful, wonderful companion. He's out with me most days, apart from if he's just eaten. Boas in general take a long time to digest their food, which is why feeding him every 3 weeks is a good idea. Hey buddy. Because their metabolism is slow, so if I were to feed him every week, he would have barely digested the first rat by the time I put the second one in, which is not going to make a happy snake. He'd eat it anyway because he's a reptilian garbage disposal, but it's not the best idea for him. So he wants to come out, but he's not the brightest spark. So I'm not sure if he's realised yet that this side of the glass is indeed open. I think now that he's seen my hand here, he might figure it out. There we go. Hi, buddy. He really is wonderful and so friendly. I've had small kids play with him, and he's absolute delight. But once he wants to come out, he's getting his way, so I'm going to have to put the camera down and spend some time with Zeke. So I hope I've answered any questions you guys may have had, and if you do have any more questions, let me know. I'll try and answer them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully once I've got his upgraded enclosure going, I'll be able to make a better video on how I think adult snakes of this size should be kept. Currently I'm trying to make the best of a temporary housing situation, while I myself get more space for the animals to move into. So yeah, bear with me while I do that, and hopefully Zeke's equally understanding. But as I said, you know, if you're handling your animals a lot and they come out and they have a chance to stretch out nicely with you, then make the enclosure the best you can whilst you're planning your upgrades, and as long as it doesn't take too long, I don't see too much of a problem with that. But yeah, any questions, let me know, and hope you're all doing well.